and welcome back. So in this episode we are going to learn about symmetrical triangles, the continuation pattern. Now you can see on the right here that there are four major kinds. Now if you're wondering where are the rest, there are more, but we won't be discussing them. You see, most of the other patterns are basically variations of these. So there's no point learning hundreds of patterns and not knowing how to trade them. We've discussed in previous videos that it's more important to learn a few things and master them than try to be a jack of all trades. So let's move on. So what is a symmetrical triangle? A symmetrical triangle is when prices converge at a central point. You see, this happens because the bulls and the bears are both at a decision point. The bears are absolutely sure that the prices are going to fall, and the bulls are absolutely sure that the prices are going to rise. Now whether that happens or not is an open question, because you see, a pattern does not develop because people want it to. It happens because of certain situations. Now in this situation of our symmetrical triangle, every time the market rallied, the bear sold short or started to sell. And every time the market dipped, so to speak, the bulls bought. Now this turns out that every new sequential peak is lower than the last, giving us the upper trend line, and every new sequential trough is higher than the last, giving us our lower trend line. Now once you reach the edge of the point, the end of the point, a decision needs to be made. Now suppose we are in an uptrend and we get a continuation pattern. We know that the markets need to continue up. So if we break out, the bears who were short selling will now start to buy, further fueling the rise upwards. I wanted to share something interesting. Over the years of trading the stock market and seeing this pattern develop in thousands of stocks, now I'm talking about a more India-centric outlook on this pattern. It seems to work extremely well in downtrends. If you open a chart of, say, Axis Bank or Nifty, Bank Nifty, Reliance, or even Tata Steel, you will see that mostly on the 15 or 30-minute charts, you will get a symmetrical triangle in a downtrend. And most of the time, it will work. We do get these in uptrends as well, but most of the time in Indian markets, you'll either get a flag, that's something that we'll be discussing in later videos, or you'll get a breakdown failure and prices will continue to move up. A symmetrical triangle is sort of a rarity in an uptrend in the Indian stock market is what I've seen so far. So I hope that little tip helps. So now let's look at a few examples of symmetrical triangles. What we see here is a 30-minute chart of IDFC. This chart, as you can see, was in a downtrend. Then we got some sideways bars. But if you look a little closer, these bars have actually formed trend lines on the upper part and the lower part, giving us our symmetrical triangle. Now we know that in a downtrend it should continue down and we get a breakdown bar, continuing the trend down and falling quite a bit and earning some money for our intraday traders. The next example I have is Reliance Communications. Now I'm sure you've heard of this company, it's quite famous, and we have the same situation here, a downtrend and a symmetrical triangle over here. Now this is a little more difficult to spot because we have one breakout bar, that's the green bar, which tried to break out. Now since we know we're not supposed to buy in downtrends, especially when we get a continuation pattern, we wouldn't have taken that buy. Instead, that buy failed and we eventually broke down and continued falling. That's quite a beautiful chart, but this is on the 15 minutes. One more example. This is the Reliance, and Reliance has the same story. It was in uptrend. You can't see that part on this chart, but it had just shifted into a gradual down move, and we got the symmetrical triangle which broke down and continued to fall. So this is what a symmetrical triangle looks like. So I hope you can identify one, because in the next video we'll be learning how you can put on trades and finally start earning money from it. But make sure that context is king, and also money management is what's going to make you that money. So see you in the next video.